Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
So, Ethan Hawke, Selena Gomez, they're the stars of the movie, but the scene stealer in the movie is the car, the Shelby Super Snake. And I don't know anything about cars, but I'll tell you, it's a really cool car.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's like the American supercar. The movie takes place in an Eastern European city, and so I sort of felt with Ethan and Selena being transplants to that city, expats, if you will, that it was good to have an American car. They showed me Porsches, they showed me Mercedes, they showed me Ferraris, and I was like, I've seen that in different movies, and I haven't seen this Shelby. It just looks rough and tough and rugged. It's its face, and you're right. It's one of the three main characters.
Yeah. And what was it about that car that really drew you in? Because the car is in not every shot, but I mean the car is really the third build star here.
Yeah, I mean it could be the first build star. I mean if you were fighting about screen time.
Yeah, that's right.
But that being said, it was just really the face of the car, but also the power that the car has. What it represents in the car world. What he's doing needs a certain type of car with a certain amount of horsepower, and a certain ability to act as a race car, yet be a street car at the same time. And the Shelby can really do both. And so that was part of the consideration. That was also how we were decking it out, because we have the cameras that we had to add to the inside and the outside of the car, so other cars that we looked at didn't allow for us to be able to do that, and it's a major story point in the movie. So there were a bunch of different combined reasons for that car.
Now, the chase scenes in the movie, to me, don't look like there's a lot of CGI, computer-generated anything. They look real to me, and I think that is so important because it lends a more of a sense of danger, I think, to them, rather than when it's all computer-generated. Anything can happen; it doesn't matter. But this feels different.
Thank you. Well, I mean, that's what we were going for. To answer your question, or actually to add to what you said, there was no CG for even one of those crashes.
Is that right?
So every single one is done practically. Not even one CG shot. The only CG shot in the film is that tower coming down at the end of the train sequence. Right. The tower was added. Okay, but the explosions, everything else are completely real. And that was on purpose, because I wanted you to feel exactly what you just said, which is that there were stakes in making this movie. There was real danger that occurred, and to feel the danger as the audience going through it. And I felt the only way to do it was to do it practically. Right. So that's what we did. I mean, so we choreographed every single stunt, and you were holding your breath every time we killed 130. I say killed them. Okay, we killed and had a graveyard of 130 cars by the end of this movie. Because it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work the way you want it to. For all the best planning, you've still got cars going 50, 60 miles an hour that are controlled by people, and they're not going to do exactly what they're supposed to. Accidents happen, as they say. Or on Getaway, there was like 4 accidents a day. Right? We got used to the sound after a while, but at the first week and a half, you just constantly do this every single time, and you knew what was coming. You'd still do it.
Now, we'll talk about Ethan Hawke and Selena Gomez. As I was watching this movie, I thought, if this was made in the 1970s, when they made a lot of car crash movies, it would be Peter Fonda and Susan George probably in this movie.
Yes.
Tell me about finding...
Ali McGraw.
Yeah, Ali McGraw, maybe, So tell me a little bit about finding Ethan Hawke. He made a lot of sense to me in this. Selena Gomez is kind of a left field choice, though, don't you think?
Yeah, it was definitely a left field choice. And I've heard a lot of that. But it was the right choice.
Just because we don't see her in that kind of role, though, that's what I mean.
But I mean, it's interesting because I've heard this comment a lot, so maybe it's good to address it, which is, we don't see her in this kind of role, but unless she does this kind of role, how do we ever eventually see her in this type of role? Right. How does she transition as a young actress who started off in a certain place and is trying to grow up? And some people do transition and some people don't. Selena's actually a good little actress. And this role was an interesting transition for her because it's not too much of a stretch into the adult world. She's still playing a kid. Her character's name is the Kid. She's sassier, more precocious, definitely than anything she's done before. Spring Breaker's different story, but that's another transition she was cognizantly, she told me, trying to make into this more adult type of role. But it was right for the role. That was the role I was looking for. I was looking for a girl that came from a privileged family. I was looking for a girl that was educated. I was looking for a girl that was sassy, and a girl that was attractive. So, she fit the bill for all those things, which is what the script called for and what the character called for. They don't know each other at all. They end up in this thing together, not at all by choice, as you know. You know, and Ethan obviously was a good choice for the role that he's playing, and she's a good contrast to that. I didn't want to put who you'd expect to see in there just so we could say, okay, we made a cool car movie and we put, you know, so-and-so in it. And I'm really happy with the choice that we made in the end.
Courtney, that's our time. Thanks so much.
Pleasure. Thank